Hey everyone, welcome back to Nursing Matters. I'm Christina, and I'm really glad you're here with us today. Before we dive in, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge this past weekend's winter storm. I know a lot of you worked through it. Some of you probably slept at the hospital because you couldn't get home, and some of you picked up extra shifts when your colleagues couldn't make it in. That's what nurses do, right? When everyone else is sheltering in place, you're the ones showing up. So if that was you this weekend, thank you. Our thoughts are with everyone who's still dealing with the aftermath of this storm and potentially more snow this weekend. All right, so today we've got some really great news stories to share with you. We're talking about nurses doing what they do best, saving lives when nobody's watching. Like literally off the clock, just being incredible humans. We've got a cardiac ICU nurse who saved 2 people in one day on her day off, a mother-daughter nursing duo who saved a state trooper's life, and we're celebrating some major nursing leadership recognition. Then I have something really special for you. We're going to play a song called Angels Appear by country artist Sadie Lynn Holloway. If you were a nurse during COVID, this one's going to hit you right in the heart. Fair warning, you might need some tissues. After that, we're getting practical. I'm going to share how to network your way to your next nursing job using the RN Network's facility directory. This isn't designed to replace job boards, but it will become part of a broader career development strategy to ensure your job search efforts are focused and targeted. And then in the recruiter's truth, we're fixing your LinkedIn profile because honestly, most of you are underselling yourselves, and we're going to change that today. So let's get into it. Okay, so I look for these positive nursing stories every week because, let's be honest, the news doesn't always show nurses in the best light. We hear about staffing shortages, we hear about burnout, we hear about all the problems. But what we don't hear enough about are the amazing things nurses do every single day. So here are some stories from this week that reminded me why we love supporting this profession. So first up, Jennifer Gentry. She's a cardiac ICU nurse at Integris Heart Hospital in Oklahoma City. And this story is wild because it all happened on her day off. So Jennifer's at the gym, right? Just trying to get a workout in, and she notices this guy who's struggling to breathe. She goes over to help, checks for a pulse, nothing. This man is in cardiac arrest. So Jennifer, without missing a beat, starts doing CPR right there on the gym floor. She keeps him alive until the ambulance arrives. Now, most people would call that a day, right? Like you just saved someone's life at the gym. Go home, put your feet up, but not Jennifer. Later that same day, she's out at a restaurant and she sees an infant choking, a baby. And again, Jennifer jumps into action. She performs the Heimlich maneuver on this little one and saves the baby's life. 2 lives, 1 day, all while off duty. And here's what really gets me. When they interviewed Jennifer about it, she was so humble. She said she was just doing what any nurse would do. But the man's family and the baby's family, they called her a guardian angel. And honestly, they're not wrong. This story was covered by nurse.org, and you can read more about Jennifer's incredible day at their website. Next story, and this one's incredible too. Jessica Alexander and her daughter Taylor Hall are both registered nurses in Kentucky. They were driving together when they came across Kentucky State Trooper Josh Remelin lying in the grass, bleeding from a gunshot wound to his leg. This trooper had just been ambushed during a traffic stop on July 13, 2025. The suspect shot him and fled, and Remelin was losing blood fast, like dangerously fast. Now, Jessica and Taylor could have waited for the ambulance, but they didn't. They jumped out of the car, assessed the situation, and realized they needed to stop the bleeding immediately. So Jessica took her belt off, yes, her actual belt, and they used it as a makeshift tourniquet. These 2 nurses, this mother-daughter team, kept that trooper alive with a belt and their clinical skills until the ambulance arrived. And it's all on body camera footage. You can see the whole thing. Kentucky just gave them the state's highest civilian honor. And when you watch that footage, you understand why. They didn't panic. They didn't freeze. They went into nurse mode and saved a life. This story was also reported by nurse.org, and it's definitely worth reading the full account. Okay, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about nurse leadership. Dr. Jennifer McKenzie Kennedy, who's the president of the American Nurses Association, was just named one of modern healthcare's 100 most influential people in healthcare for 2025. This is a big deal. This isn't just about nurses recognizing nurses. This is the entire healthcare industry saying, this nurse leader is shaping the future of healthcare. Dr. Kennedy has been leading the ANA through some really critical times. She's been advocating for nurse-led policy changes. She's been fighting for safer staffing standards. She's been pushing for better mental health support for nurses. And now she's being recognized on the national level for that leadership. I love seeing nurse leaders get this kind of recognition because it reminds everyone that nurses aren't just at the bedside. They're in the boardroom, they're in policy meetings, and they're shaping the future of healthcare. And that matters. This story was announced by the American Nurses Association in their 2025 news release. Okay, last one. This is all about innovation. Microsoft announced in October 2025 that they're extending their Dragon Copilot AI technology specifically to nurses. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, oh, great, more technology. But hear me out. This isn't about replacing nurses. This is about giving nurses time back. Dragon Copilot is basically an AI-powered documentation assistant. It helps with charting. It helps with note-taking and all that administrative stuff that takes nurses away from the bedside. The goal is to reduce the documentation burden so nurses can spend more time actually caring for patients. And Microsoft is specifically partnering with nursing organizations to make sure this technology actually works for nurses, not just for the tech companies building it. Look, I get it. New technology can be scary, but if it means you spend less time staring at a computer screen and more time with your patients, that's a total win in my book. Microsoft covered this in their press release from October 16, 2025, and it's part of a larger trend we're seeing in healthcare innovation for 2026 and beyond. All right, before we continue, I want to tell you about something that's been a game changer for pet-loving nurses, and that's Dutch. Look, as nurses, you take care of everyone else all day long, but when it comes to your pets, sometimes it's hard to find the time to get them to the vet for every little concern. That's where Dutch comes in. Dutch is a telehealth veterinary service for your pets. For around $11 a month, you get unlimited video visits with licensed veterinarians, access to prescriptions when needed, and quality care for your furry little family members, all from your home. Whether it's a quick check-in about your dog's skin issue or a follow-up on your cat's medication, Dutch makes pet care convenient for your busy nursing schedule. Because your pet deserves great care too, and you deserve convenience. Check them out at dutch.rnnet.org. That's dutch.rnnet.org. All right, so now I want to share something with you that's really personal for a lot of nurses. COVID. We don't talk about it as much anymore. The world has kind of moved on, but for nurses, for those of you who were there, that experience doesn't just go away. I remember talking to nurses during that time who would sit in their cars for 20 minutes before going into their house because they were terrified of bringing the virus home to their families. Nurses who held patients' hand as they died because their families couldn't be there. Nurses who worked shift after shift after shift, exhausted, scared, but still showing up. So country artist Sadie Lynn Holloway wrote this song called Angels Appear, and it's specifically about the nursing experience during COVID. And I'm telling you, the first time I heard it, I was just so moved. It just captures something that is really hard to put into words. We're so grateful to be able to share this with you today. So wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, whether you're at home, or whether you're at work, just take a few minutes, listen, remember, and know that what you went through mattered. What you survived mattered. Here's Angels Appear by Sadie Lynn Holloway.
Fresh out of school, white shoes, shaking hands. She found me in the break room, said, let me show you why we stand. Taught me how to listen, hold their hand when the end is near. You'll save lives with medicine, but change them without fear. There are wings beneath their scrubs you'll never see, flying through the hallways where hope needs to be. They lift you when you can't stand, fight for you when no one understands. Someone's daughter, someone's hero, someone's son. There are wings beneath their scrubs and they're made of love. March 2020, everything changed overnight. Room 304, a mother clinging to the fire. She whispered, tell my babies that I tried. I said, ma'am, you'll tell them yourself. 16 days I stayed by her side. The day she walked out, grandkids waiting there. I heard my mentor's voice, this is why we care. There are wings beneath their scrubs you'll never see, flying through the hallways where hope needs to be. They lift you when you can't stand, fight for you when no one understands. Someone's daughter, someone's hero, someone's son. There are wings beneath their scrubs and they're made of love. To every nurse who's cried alone in their car, who miss their family to be right where you are. You're the reason miracles happen every day. You're the hands that heal, the voice that says it'll be okay. There are wings beneath your scrubs we finally see. You lift us up, you bring the victory. With every life you touch, every shift you are, you're everyone, someone. There are wings beneath your scrubs and there.
You just listened to Sadie Lynn Holloway's Angels Appear. If you're interested in more information about Sadie Lynn, you can visit her website at www.sadielynnholloway.com. Welcome back. Let me tell you about something that's revolutionizing how nurses assess patients: the EchoCore 500 digital stethoscope. This isn't your traditional stethoscope. The Core 500 combines a 3-lead ECG with AI-powered insights, giving you visual waveforms, up to 40 times amplification, and the ability to record and share your exams. You can actually see what you're hearing. It comes with a free 14-day trial of Echo Plus, which includes AI detection for murmurs and AFib. The full-color display shows heart rate and ECG data right on the stethoscope. And it's built tough, 60-hour battery life, water-resistant, shatter-resistant design that can handle your clinical shifts. Plus, it's HSA and FSA eligible, and many employers will reimburse you for testing new equipment. Check it out at stethoscope.rnnet.org. That's stethoscope.rnnet.org. Okay, let's talk about something really practical: getting your next nursing job. And not just any job, but the right job. Here's the thing about nursing jobs that most people don't realize. The best positions, they don't always make it to the big job boards. They get filled through connections. They get filled because a recruiter already had a conversation with someone who was perfect for the role. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. Christina, I am not a networking person. That is not my thing. But here's what I want you to understand. Networking isn't about being the most outgoing person in the room. It's not about working a room at a conference. It's about making genuine connections with the right people. And more importantly, it's about knowing where to find those people. So this is where the RN Network's facility directory comes in. And if you're a member, you already have access to this. If you're not a member, stick around because you're going to want to join after this. The facility directory isn't just a list of hospitals. It's not like looking at a Google map and seeing what's nearby. This is a strategic tool that gives you insider information. Here's what you can do with it. First, you can research. You can look up healthcare facilities in your area and actually learn about them. Not just, oh, they have 300 beds and they're a level 2 trauma center. I mean real information. What's the culture like? What are the benefits? What specialties are they known for? What do other nurses say about working there? Why does this matter? Because you don't want to waste your time applying to places that aren't going to be a good fit. You want to be strategic. Second, and this is a big one, you can reach out to their recruiters directly, not through an application portal, not through some automated system where your resume disappears into the void, directly from our platform. Think about what that means for a second. Instead of being an application number 247 in a stack, you're starting a conversation. You're putting a face to your name. You're making a connection with the person who's actively trying to fill nursing positions. So let me give you a strategy on how to actually work this. If I were job hunting right now, here's exactly what I would do. Number one, I would make a short list. Not every hospital within 50 miles of your location. I want you to make a targeted list of 5 to 7 facilities where you actually want to work. Places that have the specialty you want, the schedule that works for your life, the culture that fits who you are. Be picky. You're not desperate. You're a skilled professional who has options. Number 2, you need to research that facility and each one that's on your list. Spend 15 to 20 minutes per hospital. What are they known for? What programs do they have? What's their reputation in the community? Because when you reach out to a recruiter, you want to sound like you actually care about what's working at the specific facility, not like you just need a job. Number 3, you're going to craft your message. And here's what I would not say. Hi, I'm looking for a job. Do you have any openings? No. That sounds desperate. It sounds generic. Here's what I would say instead. Hi, recruiter's name. My name is Christina, and I'm an ICU nurse with 5 years of critical care experience. I've been following Ohio State University Medical Center's cardiovascular program, and I'm really impressed with your TAVR outcomes. I'm interested in exploring opportunities in your cardiac ICU. Would you be open to a conversation about current or upcoming positions? See the difference? One message says, I need a job. The other says, I'm a professional with specific skills and genuine interest in your organization. Step 4, follow up. If you don't hear back in a week, send a polite follow-up. Recruiters are busy, we know that. They're not ignoring you. They're drowning in emails. A follow-up shows you're serious and persistent. Also keep in mind with the nursing shortage, it's really important they do get back to you. So be persistent. So here's what most nurses don't realize. As the nursing shortage does continue to expand through 2030, healthcare organizations are struggling to find quality nurses across all specialties. You'd think that would make it easier to get hired, right? But here's the catch. They're not just looking for warm bodies. They're looking for engaged, professional nurses who demonstrate initiative. When you're proactive, when you present yourself professionally, when you network strategically, you're automatically setting yourself apart from 95% of other nurses in the workforce. Think about that. Most nurses are still using the same old approach, scroll through job boards, click apply, hope for the best. They're passive in their job search. But you? By taking this targeted, relationship-driven approach, you're positioning yourself as someone who's serious about their career. someone who does their homework, someone who knows what they want and goes after it. That's exactly the kind of nurse healthcare organizations are desperate to hire. This small shift in strategy from passive applicant to active networker can absolutely change your life and your career. You're not just finding a job, you're building relationships that will serve you for years to come. If you're not a member of the RN Network yet, head on over to rnnet.org. We've got over 200,000 healthcare professionals in this community, and we're here to help each other succeed. This is your competitive advantage in the crowded market. As we speak today, we have hospitals that are part of the directory, but we'll be expanding that in the next 30 days. So you'll be able to find jobs across all areas of healthcare. This is super exciting. Talk about ACLS certification. Whether you're renewing your cert or getting it for the first time, we've made this simple. Our ACLS courses are fully online, self-paced, and designed specifically for busy nurses. You can complete your certification on your schedule, no sitting in a classroom for 8 hours on your day off. The course includes comprehensive training on advanced cardiac life support algorithms, case scenarios, and everything you need to pass your certification. And when you're done, you get a digital certificate immediately. Check it out at acls.rnnet.org. That's acls.rnnet.org, because your certification shouldn't be another source of stress in your life. All right, time for the recruiter's truth. This is where I tell you what actually works in healthcare recruiting, not what people think works, but what really moves the needle. Today we're talking about LinkedIn. And I'm just going to be straight with you. Most nurses are leaving so much opportunity on the table because their LinkedIn profile is basically invisible to recruiters. I review LinkedIn profiles every single day as part of my job. And I see nurses with incredible experience, impressive skills, amazing accomplishments, and their profile makes them look boring, generic, like everyone else. So let's fix that. I'm going to walk you through exactly what recruiters look for. So first things first, you need a professional photo, not a group photo where recruiters have to guess which one is you, not a selfie from your car, not your nursing school graduate photo from 2008. A current professional photo where you look like a healthcare professional. Scrubs are fine, business casual is great, just make it clear, make it current, and make it professional. Why? Because recruiters are human. They're scrolling through hundreds of profiles. A good photo makes them stop. A bad photo or no photo at all, they keep scrolling. Next thing we need to look at is your headline. This is prime real estate, and most nurses waste it. They write registered nurses or registered nurse at XYZ hospital, registered RN at X. Okay, so 50,000 people on LinkedIn have the same headline, so you're certainly not standing out there. Your headline needs to tell recruiters what makes you different. What's your specialty? What's your superpower? What should they know about you in 5 seconds as they're looking at your profile? Try something like this: ICU RN, CCRN, keeping critically ill patients stable in high-pressure situations. Or pediatric emergency nurse, PALS instructor, calm under pressure, compassionate with families. Or med-surg RN, charge nurse, developing the next generation of nurses. Now recruiters are interested. Now they want to click and learn more about you. Let's move on to the About section. This is where you tell your story. And most nurses, well, they either leave it blank or they write something that sounds like it was copied from a job description. Just talk like a human. Tell recruiters why you became a nurse, what you're passionate about, your key strengths or specialties, what you're looking for in your next role if you're open to opportunities. Don't be afraid to let your personality show here. I promise you, recruiters read this section. When I find someone who might be a fit for a position, I go straight to the About section. If it's blank or boring, often I move on. If it's compelling, I'm picking up the phone. So now we'll move on to the Experience section. Here's where most nurses literally miss the mark. They list their job duties like they're reading straight from a job description. Example, I'm responsible for patient care in a 30-bed ICU. From my perspective as a recruiter, I'm thinking, okay, and what makes you special? What makes you different from every other ICU nurse? So I want to change how you're doing this today. Instead of duties, show your accomplishments. Show the impact that you're making. Don't write responsible for patient care in a 30-bed ICU. Instead, write something like provided critical care to complex ICU patients, including ventilator management and hemodynamic monitoring. Precepted 15 plus new graduate nurses over 2 years. Led an evidence-based practice initiative that reduced catheter-associated UTIs by 35%, contributing to the unit's magnet recognition. Oh my gosh, I'm excited reading that. I would hire this person. See the difference? Now you're not just another ICU nurse. You're a leader. You're someone who gets results. You're someone recruiters want on their team. So let's move on to the skills and endorsements area on LinkedIn. LinkedIn lets you put up to 50 skills, so use them strategically because they do run out quickly. Include your clinical skills specific to your specialty. For example, critical care, telemetry, wound care, etc. Certifications, make sure you include those, such as ACLS, BLS, CCRN, etc. Your technical skills matter here too. For example, Epic, Cerner, Meditech, whatever systems you know, list them there. And then soft skills. Do you have leadership experience, patient education, team collaboration? You get the idea. And here's a pro tip. Endorse your colleagues' skills. Most of them will endorse you back. It's a simple way to build credibility on your profile. Let's talk for a moment about recommendations on LinkedIn. So nothing builds trust like someone else vouching for you. And if you have good relationships with former managers, charge nurses, or colleagues, ask them for a recommendation on LinkedIn. Be specific about what you'd like them to highlight. Hey, would you be willing to write a recommendation focusing on my clinical skills in cardiac care? Or could you speak to my mentorship of new grads? Even 2 or 3 solid recommendations can make a huge difference in how recruiters perceive you. Moving on to the open to work feature. If you're job hunting, turn this on. You can make it visible only to recruiters or make it public. That's up to you. My personal recommendation is make it visible only to recruiters. Otherwise, you could potentially open yourself up to being scammed. Some nurses worry that adding this feature makes them look desperate to recruiters, but it really doesn't. It looks smart. It looks like you're being strategic about your career, and it makes it incredibly easy for recruiters to reach out to you. Also, recruiters notice when you're active on LinkedIn. You don't have to post every single day, but occasionally engage. Like and comment on posts from healthcare organizations you admire and want to work for. Share articles about nursing topics you care about. Join nursing groups and participate in discussions. It keeps you visible. It keeps you top of mind when recruiters are looking for that quality candidate. The bottom line here, your LinkedIn profile is your digital first impression. It's like a digital business card in 2026. In a lot of cases, recruiters look at your LinkedIn before they even look at your resume. So invest an hour this week. Update your profile using these strategies that we've discussed. Make yourself visible and make yourself memorable. And remember, when recruiters start reaching out to you instead of you chasing them down, that's when you have leverage. That's when you're in control of your career. All right, that's what I've got for you this week on Nursing Matters. Let's recap. We celebrated some incredible nurses who saved lives when nobody was watching. We listened to Angels Appear and honored what nurses went through during COVID. I showed you how to use the RN Network's facility directory to network your way into finding your next job. And we fixed your LinkedIn profile so recruiters actually notice you. If you've received value from today's episode, please share it with a nurse friend who needs to hear this. And if you're not already a member of the RN Network, head on over to rnnet.org to join over 200,000 healthcare professionals who are building their careers together. Before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the work you do every single day. Thank you for showing up through winter storms, staffing shortages, through all of it. Nurses are the backbone of healthcare, and you deserve every opportunity to build a career that fulfills you and supports the life you want to live. I'm Christina, and I'll see you next week on Nursing Matters. Take care out there.